After originally announcing he would not seek re-election, Duluth City Councilor Arik Forsman reversed course today, saying he will run again. Northern News Now's Larissa Millis explains why the change of heart and the issues he'll run on.
In February, Duluth City Councilor at large Arik Forsman announced he would not run again, saying he wanted to spend more time with his family. But on Wednesday, he announced a change in those plans.
It's with great humility and pleasure that I announce today that I will indeed be seeking re-election to the Duluth City Council this November.
Forsman says the change comes after his community encouraged him to continue working in office. His campaign theme of, quote, "our voice of reason," is also inspired by his supporters.
That's something a lot of people have said to me. They've said, hey, you know, we want you to continue on because you are the voice of reason or a voice of reason on the council.
Forsman previously served as council president after being appointed to the council in 2018, then elected in 2019. Last August, he lost the primary race to represent East Duluth in the Minnesota House. Now he says his campaign will mostly focus on public safety, investing in kids, his no-nonsense approach to council, and how he'll, quote, keep getting the job done. Forsman says the mayoral candidates had no influence on his decision to run again.
But I said it even when I originally announced I wasn't going to be running this year, is that the city council matters too. It matters a great deal, and having candidates who have experience and are able to bring their ideas to the table, that's a really important part of our city governance.
Mayoral candidate Roger Reiner was at Forsman's announcement, while incumbent Mayor Emily Larson was not. In Duluth, Larissa Millis, Northern News Now.
Forsman joins 5 other candidates vying for 2 at-large positions. They all face off in an August primary where the race will be narrowed to 4, who will then vie for the 2 open seats in November. Now, those 6 candidates are, in addition to Forsman, Ashley Castaldo, Lynn Marie Nephew, Miranda Pacheco, Sean A. Savella, and Jenna Yackel. Forsman went on to record today, went on to say that his second vote will be for Nephew.